You are watching Morning Musings with Reinhard von Hennigs, chairman and founder of BridgehouseLaw in Charlotte, North Carolina.
What is CRISPR Cas9? Hello, this is Reinhard von Hennigs. And some may say this is a genetic breakthrough because it gives you a chance to change the genome. We are talking about a cloning revolution, and we are talking about the sports of polo. What's happening in polo right now may soon be happening in many other areas of our life. In the world of polo, however, excellence is often measured in fractions of seconds. The swiftness of a turn, how a horse can accelerate, how can it take charge, what is the precision of a strike. For many decades, if not centuries, the sport relied on breeding programs, where horse breeders got the best and the bestest and all the good horses together and found a way to refine the qualities. But nature has its limits. Then came cloning. Cloning was used in the sports as well, but now suddenly the boundaries of equine athleticism are no longer directed by the chance of reproduction. They are now down to science. In the heart of this scientific revolution is Argentina, a nation which has dominated the polo game for quite some time and has been the hub for equine cloning. Who remembers the legendary Quartetera, a mare so extraordinary that her clones now dominate the field? It is a multi-million-dollar industry, and it has sprung around genetic reproduction, genetic duplication, and cloning has changed that game. But now, transformation of science makes it possible to go far beyond that. The question, of course, is about intellectual property, it's about genetic diversity, and it's about ethical considerations. We are in the middle of an evolving landscape. Let's talk about CRISPR. In a groundbreaking development, Cheiron Biotech announced in October and in November last year that the birth of 5 genetically modified polo horses near Buenos Aires can be reported. These horses were altered by using the CRISPR or Cas9 gene editing method, are direct genetic modifications of an award-winning mare called Polo Purezza. Cheiron Biotech claims that these horses are the first of the kind worldwide. This project was early announced in 2018, and it was put into an official Argentine government press release. What happened between then and now, we don't know. Maybe it took years to refine the method. Maybe it took years to make it worth to talk about, we don't know, but now it seems to have happened. Which leads to the question, what's CRISPR or what's Cas9? The CRISPR Cas9 technology is a revolutionary gene editing tool which gives us a chance to change RNA to use the enzymes in a specific DNA sequence, and the Cas9 enzyme is then used as a method similar to a scissor. That's why it's sometimes also called a molecular scissor, and it is able to cut the DNA at a precise location. This gives scientists an opportunity to remove, to add, or to alter genetic material with unparalleled precision. It's different from cloning, which is a reproduction of a genome, and it's different from traditional breeding because 1 in 100 may be the one you're looking for. Now we are down to a chance of 1 in 10. This advancement with the CRISPR technology is a new era of genetic enhancement. It's no longer mere reproduction, replication. It is a new science. And if this replication becomes a norm, there are implications. These implications start and stretch all over different industries. It's affecting our lives from livestock to agriculture. We have already seen it in agriculture, and to medicine, over to biotechnology. As gene modifying technologies, as gene editing technologies become more and more sophisticated, companies will need to address legal and ethical considerations. Let's start with the legal considerations. The introduction of CRISPR technology into animal genetics raises complex legal issues. First of all, it's patent law. Gene patents are right now a hotbed of legal debate. CRISPR-edited genes can be patented, but the distinction between natural occurring sequences and modified version of genome really complicates the matter. Additionally, questions arise about patent infringement, similar to disputes about genetically modified crops. Is genetically modified horse able to reproduce naturally? We don't know. Who owns the genetic material of subsequent generations? Second of all, trademark law. The branding of a genetically modified animal presents unique challenges. Can the genetic lineage of an elite horse be trademarked as a way to identify a brand? Can legal protections prevent unauthorized use of such a trademark? And if those sequences can be created in a lab, how much of that is really original? Third of all, business practices. Licensing genetic material will become more critical. It'll become a legal frontier. Contracts may be placed to cover not only the sale of the animal, but also the licensing of the genetic code. International trade laws will also influence how genetically modified organisms are regulated, especially in cross-border transactions involving CRISPR-edited livestock. So next of all, what are ethical considerations? We talk about equity and access. In polo sports, the genetic modification of a horse could widen the gap between wealthy teams and those relying on traditional breeding. This mirrors a broader society concern. Gene editing technologies in humans and agriculture, will this be accessible for everybody or only for some privileged few? Second of all, the biodiversity impact. While it may be attractive from an efficiency point of view that genetics is seen as superior over other genetics, it comes at the expense of diversity. Over-reliance on a special modified genetics could expose industries for risk like diseases. High disease risk comes from inbreeding. Why not if every horse uses the same genetic code? Businesses, therefore, must implement strategies to maintain a genetic variety, as well as blending genetically modified organisms with traditional breeds. Third of all, regulatory frameworks. Regulations are there, and they will be there in the future. They will need to evolve right now. The number of genetically modified organisms could be limited. The number of genetic modifications in the genome could be limited. There could be a different labeling between modified and non-modified organisms. This is down to a discussion with policymakers, what is possible, and ethicists, what is crucial. Where can the CRISPR technology be used beyond polo? It can be used in agriculture, as it may enhance crops for drought resistance, pest control, and higher yields. This is good to fight away against starvation. Number two, the medicine. Gene therapy with CRISPR offers a potential cure for genetic diseases. Think sickle cell anemia. And third of all, in livestock, CRISPR is used to create disease-resistant cattle and pigs with growth rates paralleling instruments and paralleling developments to the polo horses. So now the last question is, why does it matter for you as a global entrepreneur, as a global marketeer, as a global CEO? The lessons from polo goes beyond sport. Whether you are a biotech startup or a multinational company, an agriculture firm, or an investment fund just looking into finding the better way of genetic advancements, the implications of cloning and CRISPR cannot be ignored. This is a technology which gives the world an enormous potential, but also significant risks. Global business leaders must ask, how do we harness the benefits of genetic replication and modification without falling into the traps of over-standardization? How do we ensure the ethical transparency while protecting the intellectual assets? Most important, how do we balance innovation with responsibility in a world where genetic engineering will become more commonplace. The question is not whether cloning and gene editing will reshape industries, but rather, how will you position your business to adapt, thrive, and lead in this new area of genetic innovation?
Whether you're a private citizen, an international business leader, or simply someone eager to stay on top of the latest news, this book is a great way to get caught up on the most recent developments in the worlds of international business, tax, politics, and social affairs. Go to morningmusings.com and order your copy today.
Thank you for joining us today. If you would like more information about Bridgehouse Law, please visit our website at bridgehouse.law. Before you go, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more up-to-date content. Bridgehouse Law, business-minded, client-focused.